Well, the meeting is officially called to order. This is the Wareham Board of Library Trustees. I'm Nancy Rice. We have present Sarah Corbett, the liaison to the Select Board, Jared Frederickson, Wendy Young, Rich Wolverton, and Library Director Patrick Marshall. Are there any announcements? Public comment. We don't have any members of the public here, so we can skip that. An official welcome to our new trustee, Jared Frederickson. We're very glad you're here. We're really glad to have you on the board.
Good to be here.
Welcome.
Reports of Friends of the Library and the Foundation. The foundation meeting was last week, the Library Foundation. They talked over their financial situation, which is doing well. They're making plans to start their Bridge the Gap campaign again in about April. And there was some discussion as to whether they would do a comedy night again this year, which was usually May or June. Or they discussed possibly the first Saturday in May, but that is all to be worked out. That was basically it. The Friends of the Library just had their meeting today. And the Friends are always busy. Events from last year were very successful, and we have upcoming events this year. The library book sales will start in March, and at the end of February, beginning of March, the Friends will have a new event, which is a fabric and fiber and notion sale, which has already brought in a lot of donations, and there'll be a lot of organizing for that, and we expect that to be a very successful event. Imagination Library is doing well. It was a long but productive Friends meeting. The next thing on the agenda is the approval of the November 12th meeting minutes of the board. Does anyone want to take another look at those? Or is anybody ready to vote on those, to accept those?
Well, I should edit them to add the list of documents at the bottom. But other than that,
I approve that we accept the minutes with the addition of the documents that need to be posted. Is that the correct way to do it?
Sounds good to me.
Right.
Anybody want to second that?
A second.
Okay. Everyone in favor?
Yay.
Raise your hand. So the minutes are accepted. Okay. That leads us to the director's report.
It's been busy. So starting off, staffing, we've been really short-staffed here. Sadly, but in a good way, Christina Boutin has resigned her position as library assistant. Her last day was January 3rd. She's moving on to a bigger position in Carver. So we're hoping to have that position is advertised, and we'll hopefully have it filled. The children's librarian is out on medical leave for an extended period of time. So we hope to have her back soon as well. And we right now are having a retired children's librarian from Middleborough is filling in to do her programs for her while she's away. And so we're excited at least to have that and for the programs to continue. And if that weren't, enough to keep us tight, we have one other employee who is taking the last 2 weeks of January off on a pre-planned, long ago vacation. So to say things are tight around here, staffing-wise, is an understatement. Under buildings and grounds, we have finished inventorying and weeding the mysteries, large print, science fiction, westerns, paperbacks, young adult, and books on CD. We've shifted things around. Science fiction is now where the last shelf of mysteries used to be. Mysteries are where sci-fi used to be, which puts it all, that collection all back together again. We've also shifted paperbacks into the DVD room, and we've spread out new books in the front area, which gives them more space for people to browse. Town administrator, municipal maintenance director, and engineers, I guess it has been a while since we've met, toured the library, and they walked through the library at the end of November to get an idea of the scope of the work that needs to be done, and we'll hopefully be getting some statuses with how things can be done. One thing that the engineer had mentioned is even if they had signed everything that day and all the plans were done, it would still be about 10 to 12 months out because materials and things are just not, they have to get everything in. So it's not something that the work is going to be done tomorrow, but people are moving forward with it, which is good. Programs. We've done really well with programs. Talk by the Herring Pond Wampanoag tribal leader brought in 69 people, which was great. Ane Minogue concert had 89 people, and the Christmas Carol radio play saw 28 attendees. The Spinney branch was opened for the Christmas in Onset Village, and there were about 380 people that came into our doors anyways. We hosted cookie decorating and the balloon guy. I'm not sure who was more popular. And New Year's Eve is back this year after last year's absence, since New Year's Eve fell on a Sunday. And we had over 100 people attending that. And children's story hours begin tonight, and we'll have Fight Like a Jedi, an intro to theater combat, this Saturday, which is actually a program that was scheduled for last year that was delayed because of our shutdown, so it was postponed until now. Budget-wise, the FY25, it does say 26, okay. FY26 budget draft was submitted. All departments were requested to see no more than a 3.75% increase. We submitted our budget in, and it consisted mostly of salary increases, contractual, and utilities. Utility prices went up quite a bit for us this year. And in the current budget year, electricity, no surprise, is still coming in high. I suspect that a lot of that is from the summer when we were running the high industrial dehumidifiers and all the mold work. And then once we got the AC going, it pretty much had to keep going. So, in the other category, new public copier machine was installed Friday, and we thank the town's IT department for setting up that public printing. So now all print jobs will go to the copier. We were kind of without a copier here because our colored copier that the staff used went down for the count in November, and then our public copier went down for the count in December. So we had a few weeks where we were just kind of winging it. Printing copies are 25 cents each with the new system. The staff copier is basically, it was kind of fixed, but it's pretty much on its last legs. The repair would be about $1,000 to $1,500 to fix. So we're just using it until it dies, basically. The town's IT department also updated all the hard drives on the staff computers, so they're now working wonderfully and don't take hours, it seems, to start up in the morning. Plymouth Rocket, which was the provider of our museum reservation software, announced in mid-November that they were shutting down as of December 31st. And so I spent December looking for a new vendor, which I did with Assabet Interactive. And of course, there was the mad dash to learn how to use the system and get things running and up before Tickskeeper. And when they said they were shutting down by 11 a.m. December 31st, they weren't kidding. But we are up and running. It actually seems to be pretty seamless in using, and I don't know if anybody's really even noticed the change, so it's kind of nice. With the budget, with the budget, as I said, unless somebody has questions, we are high in electricity for this year. Outside of that, there's nothing that's unexpected or surprising to me. Again, if somebody has questions, happy to answer. But we're running about where we should be on for the fiscal year budget. And statistics-wise, December is low, but December usually is kind of low with the holidays. And but we are still, circulation-wise, even with our shutdown in August, September, we're ahead of last year for circulation. So things are busy, and we definitely have had good attendance at all of our programs and what have you. So all in all, it's been good.
Thank you, Patrick. The next item on the agenda is old business, review, possible vote of the collection development policy.
So this is the collection development policy that I submitted to you last month. All I did was take out the stuff that I was getting rid of. So this is the collection development. I left highlighted just what would be changes or new things added. But this is exactly what you got last month. And obviously, if approved, we would take out the colored highlighted sections.
So this is what we talked about at the November meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's changed with it. Some grammatics that you all had spotted were changed, but beyond that, the only difference is, as I said, it got a little confusing with all the deletions, and so that's all gone, and this is what the policy would look like, sans highlighting.
I have a small terminology problem. The word weeded, when you say that materials are weeded,
Yep.
is there any way that we could use something like decommissioned or withdrawn or something?
That's the actual professional
I
term for
understand
it,
that.
yeah.
So that it makes sense to you, but does it make sense to the public on the outside?
It would be one of the, it's kind of, I mean, we could change it, but that's the terminology that is used within the
It makes sense
policies.
to me, because when you weed something, you get rid of stuff.
Okay. I tripped over it when I was reading it, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. It just,
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It's just the official, what we're doing.
okay.
Any other discussion on the collection development policy?
No, there, in the main, it was excellent. Well done and clarified a lot.
Yeah, I think it's an improvement. Do we need to vote to accept it
Yes.
as in this form?
Yep.
I move that we accept the collection development draft, policy draft.
Any second?
I'll second.
Okay. Everyone in favor of that motion? The motion passes. Thanks, everybody. That brings us to new business. The first item here is staff shortage.
And again, we made mention of that. Staffing is tight, so there are a lot of things that are just kind of getting by the wayside, and we will work through it as best we can. But you may see some things just not happening, especially the next couple of weeks when we're down 3 of our 8 staff
I think it's
members.
amazing that you found people to
So-
fill in for the readings for Marcia. That's pretty incredible.
Well, she does a great job, and
Yes.
these are people that have worked with her as well,
Yes.
colleagues with surrounding libraries, so it's kind of a testament to her that they want to fill in and help and keep things going for her.
The next item, fiscal year '26 budget. You already addressed that in your director's report.
Yeah, so just, I mean, I gave you a copy of what's sent in, just a couple of things to note on it. The Friends of the Library last year did talk about that they would like to stop supporting the utilities for the town building that is the Spinney Branch. That being, again, utilities, natural gas, electricity. They've been paying for those the past few years. where the town has been using it the past couple of years for closures of the library, costs have gone up. There's always talk as far as possibly trying to get it open during the summer. Again, that will cause utilities to go up as opposed to a vacant. So I have put in a, basically kind of what they have been spending on the utilities and the line items. And then they would like to, what they'd like to do, it's not that they would not support the library on these things, they would just like to take the funds and put it towards library materials and other aspects of services. One concern that they also have is when the work does begin on the library and we do have to shut this building down for, I'm sure, a few months anyways, they will not be able to do their usual fundraisers, so they will not have money coming in. And it would be pretty bad to be the ones paying for the utilities when they can't pay them. So that's sort of what they were looking for. The other thing, if you look at, is the other note is, again, the electricity we put in for a larger increase in the electricity line item, again, not only for the friend or the Spinney branch, but also for the fact that that cost has just gone skyrocketing the past couple of years. And we are over budget this year already on electricity. So again, it's trying to get in there.
So a lot of this payment was essentially because of the issues that hit this building. So paying the extra costs at Spinney were because it was being used in a way that wasn't originally budgeted for. Is that?
Well, I mean, right now you have, the building is closed, so everything's at bare minimal. Heating
No,
is
so what the Friends were doing was they were paying essentially for things that had no coverage. There was a whole bunch of expenses associated with the issues with the building, correct?
No, the Friends have been paying utilities
Right,
for
but-
Spinney for anyhow.
No, I understand
Yeah.
that. But the cost of those went up. It seems to me.
A little bit, yeah.
It seems to me that if there was some kind of rainy day provisioning or some kind of provisioning from the town to cover that, then that makes it a different issue for the Friends, doesn't it? Or do they just want to get out and stop paying?
They don't wish to pay utilities for a town-owned building anymore, is what the issue comes down to. Spinney is a town building, and as they've expressed to me, they would like to have their funds go towards library services.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. So what happens with the town in that case?
Right. Have you talked to Derek about this?
We have not talked, I mean, the budgets were just submitted, so we've had no budget discussion.
So you've incorporated
We've
all
talked
Spinney
some, he's
utilities
aware of what
into
the
your
Friends, but we haven't talked, yes.
Okay.
We haven't talked budget yet. I think that usually comes toward the end of the month, or if not early February, somewhere in there. It's not a surprise if that's, because
No,
we
no,
have,
no,
we have
no,
talked, I have talked, had side conversations with him over this, and so.
It makes sense to me. How long have they been paying the utilities on this building?
Since it opened.
Forever.
How many years is that?
2006, 5, 6, 7.
That's
But
a
I mean,
lot.
it was converted over, or town meeting accepted it as a town building, so.
So what happened? Why did the Friends not want to do it anymore?
Well, they discovered that, well, number one, they kind of have a hard time justifying paying utilities on a town building. And secondly is their concern is, especially, last year or the year before when we were shut for 2 months, they lost 2 or 3 fundraisers there that they didn't take in funds. And they didn't take in funds for 2 book sales really, because it happened to fall the right time. So if the building's closed, they can't do their book sales or anything because there's no place to put it, which has got them thinking. And the other talk is, which has been known too, is that, there is talk, and if we're ever able to open Spinney to the public, that will increase. I mean, none of these have increased a lot, but the thought is Well, if you do open it, then suddenly in summer, the AC's got to be on, which now it's set at bare minimal, and same with heat, it's bare minimal, but that's going to up the costs. And again, they'd like to have their funding go to the library services,
Yeah,
whether
it
it
really
be
seems
library books or,
It's a town responsibility
Yeah.
to take care of
Oh,
that.
I agree 100%. I just didn't know what happened.
yeah, no, it's
After
just things that
20
they've seen,
years.
that it's more concern as far as especially, I would imagine that we'd be closed for quite a while when they start the work here, and that could be potentially a half a year, you know, or however long it takes, I don't know. But that's a long time of no fundraisers for them. So they just kind of want to readjust and have their purpose be what they could do, you know, for library services.
No, it makes sense.
And where does the computer system fall into all of this?
The computer system?
So the Piper computer system, the replacement of that doesn't come into this, right? So,
That's not in here, no, or that's not,
Okay.
I don't know. The website replacement you're
Right.
talking about? Yeah, I haven't even begun looking at the website replacement yet, so. We are going to, for those that don't know, our website person that handles our website announced in October that he'll be retiring, and as a result, in October of this year. And he originally had a sale of his company set to go forward, but it did not. So his company will be shutting down in October, so we have to find a new website provider. But with the museum and meeting room calendar group falling apart and giving us only 2 weeks' notice pretty much for theirs, I haven't even begun looking at website yet.
so there's an open line item that will come up for next year?
Well, the website usually is paid out of our library budget anyways.
Okay.
Any other discussion on the budget? Well, there's one other item under new business, photography policy. We can review that and possibly vote.
So this is a small one. This is a new policy. I don't think we have, or at least I could find a written policy on photography and video recording in the library. Being a smaller policy, it's just easier to, it was easy to come up with this, to do this up for you. And basically what this would cover is it does allow, for instance, library programs when we have a program. I mean, generally, we've always taken a photo of people to, or photo of the group or whatever to promote library events. That is something that, again, we just didn't have it in writing anywhere that, you know, and it should be somewhere. The other thing is you do get a lot of the, is it the freedom audits and other people that periodically, we haven't had an issue, but people want to come in and videotape within the library, in libraries, and take photos and whatever. And again, we don't have anything in writing to just basically back up what we've done. So this policy is just kind of drafted from 2 other libraries that have had their policies done and implemented. And it just basically is putting in writing what we've kind of always done, but realizing that we just didn't have it written down anywhere. So hence, there's no highlights or anything because it wasn't written down anywhere, so.
It's good to have a policy.
And as I said, I put down, or, you know, on the agenda, you can look through it and vote next month if you want, or you can take a look. I figured it was small enough.
What does it just, it does not reveal what somebody, like the items borrowed, is that just without their permission, is what you mean?
Well, where are you?
The bullet point, third bullet point.
So generally speaking, when you have, if you're videotape or anywhere, if you're taping anyone under 18, you have the parents or whatnot would generally have to have a sign, or you'd have to have a signed permission slip from the kids.
This doesn't say under 18.
Yeah, it does. If any person to be photographed or
you're
videotaped
on-
is under 18.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, I'm sorry, which bullet, I'm sorry, which one were you done?
The third bullet point down, it does not reveal the nature.
Intellectual, yeah, so I basically, what that means is I can't go up, you're at a computer and I'm gonna take a photo of, or someone can take a photo of, hey, what's Wendy on the computer? Or you're at the desk, let me get a photo of what your books you're checking out.
Oh, so that would be like with permission type of thing?
No, photography is permitted when the following conditions are met. So it does not reveal the nature of an individual. So I can take a picture of you at a program, but I can't take a picture of you with your video or your books or whatever.
Seems pretty
So
straightforward.
what's the practical implication of this? Somebody's walking around with their phone, videoing the inside of the library. You can go up and tell them to put it away?
It just gives the staff back, yeah, so generally speaking, it's more especially, we had somebody that questioned, taking videos of one of our programs. And we were fine, we were able to, accommodate what that person. But there's nothing that, and it's kind of common in this case that people, if you're attending a library program, like we get the group photo of the dance party or whatever, you can have people that have, we haven't had it in a while, but people would request, and so the, the Freedom Audit people that go around and want to video, so they basically, this kind of sets in guidelines, at least people videoing, so, they're not able to go up, you're sitting at a computer, or you're, we're going to focus in.
Exactly.
That's basically, and it's,
It needs
again,
to be written down.
yeah, and that's just it. This is all stuff that we do, but when I looked at it, I realized I can't find it anywhere, so.
It's right there.
And now, yeah, that's, my goal is to get this, yeah.
Okay,
No,
excellent.
that's good.
So-
When you do the New Year's Eve, that's mostly children. Did you need to talk to their parents and ask
No,
if they
because
could?
again, you're not doing close-ups of individuals or whatever.
That was a big issue.
And you can promote library programs. I mean, but the other issue that's not written down is, we'll put a picture on, usually I'll take a kind of a backroom photo like the Anye concert. I'll take a photo in the back, but one thing I also realize is you've got, people sharing it and whatever. I don't have any control on, we have the ability and the right to promote library programs and hey, this is what you missed, great concert. But I can't control Sarah posting, oh, look at this, Jane Doe, this would be a great photo and start sharing it along or whatever from either social media or copying it off our webpage or what have you. So again, it's just trying to get things in writing that we've always
I think
done.
this is a great start. I suspect it will have revisions.
Well, I was just wondering, obviously, attending the events is, permission to have photos taken, but
Yep.
should there also be, a form for if you want to, if it's you're coming to a specific event and you're like, please don't photograph me at this event?
That one, and a lot of the policies, people can just come up to library staff. And you have that in here. Again, people can come up and tell you. But again, it's what we've always done.
There seems to be no other new business. Does anyone have any other business to discuss?
So voting on this is waiting until.
Yeah, so what are we
Oh.
doing with it?
Okay, I'm precipitous here. Do we want to vote on this, or think about this some more and revisit it in February, or?
I'm fine with putting this copy in play, and then if it needs to be revised, we can revise it.
I agree.
Yeah, it would be good to get something.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think something needs to be written down.
So is that a motion and a second here?
Sounds good.
Everyone raise your hand. Yeah, that works, okay, yes, then we just voted on that, and we are accepting the new photography policy.
Correct.
Which we have reviewed and discussed. Very good. Any other business that anyone wants to bring up? Not seeing any. Our next meeting date is February 11th at 6 PM again. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, I imagine that is unanimous.
Yeah.
Then the meeting is adjourned at 6:35. Great, thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Noah.